For most of us, though, it was never a job, it was an experience. And it was always good to be on the winning team. And generally we were, weren't we? You know, most of the stuff we did, we won on. The success of United was certainly due to the group here, but also to the many others who couldn't be here. I've got a story about most of the people here. Ernie, Jim, Dino. I know most of you, but I don't have enough time to tell them all. But relax, Terry. Most of the people here have forgotten most of the stories, and I'm still trying to remember who it was that put the cannabis in John Story's cookies.
We know who it is.
Oh, right.
We're not saying.
So some stories hopefully will be forgotten. The suppliers, the subcontractors. Where's John Rubino? Oh, John. Should I mention the bankers, or are they not included in this?
No, they've been good.
Okay. And the bankers. We're fortunate today to have a couple of the other people that weren't directly on the UC payroll, but were involved in the success of the company. Carlo Palminari is here. Thank you, Carlo. And also Frank Tomasi. Mr. Tomasi, you always have my respect. And while the guys at United Construction were spending tens of millions of dollars doing their facilities, putting equipment in the workshop, buying Sam Castelli cranes, we would go out on site and build a number of things. Frank would come afterwards with an insulated pair of pliers, a screwdriver, and a cable drum, and make more money than we were. More power to you, Frank. That was good. Also here today, and you may not know them all, but some of our external directors. David Young, who was a partner of a large accounting firm in Perth. Somewhere. Yeah. Somewhere, yeah. There, thank you.
Don't mention the accounting firm.
No, okay. Gordon Martin is here as well. Over here. Gordon, successful businessman, entrepreneur, and these are the guys that took the company from a privately owned company into the public arena. Gordon, I won't mention that we also saw you as a potential client, and I hope the acid tanks are still okay. The third one here is Bruno Camari. I've known Bruno for 20 years before he came on the board at United. Bruno, a successful partner of Freehills, one of the largest firms in Perth. And fortunately for us, Bruno's first name and surname both ends with a vowel, so he fits in very well with this group of people. Back to Matthew. What an effort it was for Matthew to try and capture it all. Somewhere between all the interviews with us, the truth lay. I've personally found that the older I get, the better I was. And I hope that's true for you guys.
It absolutely is.
Yeah. Poor Matthew had to sift through all of our stories and present something coherent that was suitable to go on the non-fiction shelf of gimmicks. Matthew, thank you for your enduring effort of coping with all of us and sorting the fact from fiction. Matthew has all of your contact details, and when he finishes the book, and John has given him a fairly tight deadline, sometime in 2023, he will contact you all to let you know the book is available. I'm acting as his agent, 10% on all sales. So,
He cut his price.
a price? Am I selling or not yet? Thanks again, Matthew, for doing what you've done, and thank you to everyone in this room, both for your contribution to the book, and more particularly for your contribution to the United Group and making it what it has been over the years. So thanks to all of you guys. Back to Matthew again. I know that you did your final negotiations with John Rubino, and I've done that myself. I know how it is. And I hope they're paying you enough to buy a new pair of glasses and some larger notebooks so that at least someone else can read what you're bloody well writing, mate.
What about a computer?
The computer? Yeah, well, that would be good too. Yeah. Have you all seen how Matthew writes? I've seen spiders that have been more legible than that. But look, that's enough for me. I was asked to keep it short, and I certainly have. But what I'd like to do is go around the room, and if there's anyone that would like to share a short memory, Tony Arnello, if you keep it less than 5 minutes, it'd be good.
Could you mention
but
the Dockers score at the moment, please?
No.
what is it?
Dockers 62, Geelong 39.
Well done. Yeah. That's good.
That's the most important thing.
What we'd like to do
And
now,
game hasn't finished. No, but,
what I'd like to do is go around the room, and if there's any specific and short memories that you'd like to share, and John's asked me to share one, the shortest one I can find for me is in the bad old days when we were doing significant bids. Carlo Micusi was in the estimating department at midnight eating pizza and finalising the price. I unfortunately had to be out with clients eating filet mignon and drink red wine.
that's true.
It's true. And the next day we would go in and see the clients. There'd be Tony Arnello, tense as you could possibly imagine. Carlo Micusi had done all the numbers, his bags under his eyes from working all bloody night. And Jim. And what we would do is, as we got into the lift, the tension was palpable. I'd turn around to the guys and I would say, what job is it we're here for again today? And it generally broke the ice. We didn't win every job, did we, Tony?
I'm still looking at the Dockers there. The Dockers are 62.
All right,
Let's get
so,
a priority right, eh?
so who would like to join the party and tell us a short story? Tony, you. Oh, sorry.
I can tell a story.
Please.
From 1979, 98, I was thrown into the fire of John Rubino. I was first year engineering transfer, and John was building the massive long conveyor. It was called the Maramamba conveyor, and I think Frank Tomasi, yeah, you did the elbow. I think Frank Flory did the concrete, and I don't think this is working. But anyhow, oh, it's in the video. Sorry. Oh, and there was a water tank on a tower in the way of the conveyor. So I said to John, no, Mount Newman Mining wasn't BHP in those days, it was Mount Newman Mining. They want a price to remove this tower with the water tank on top of it and get it out of the way and reassemble it over there, right? So John came to me and he said, well, look, it's going to cost you $6 grand, right? And I went, well, you get the tower off and get the tank down there to the water and do all this stuff. And he said, well, we've got to do it on Sunday because Monday to Saturday we're committed to working on this 2-kilometre conveyor, right? So and he said, no, I need the crane. Right? There was a 31-tonne Lima, with, was it Cassis? Is he the driver? Ramon? Ross, big fat Ross. Yeah, that's right, Ross. Anyhow, you don't remember now, Ross. So Sunday morning, 6,000's agreed. I put a bit of money on for Transfield, yours do, maybe a little bit of margin. And 30% for, yeah, there you go. Manual went, yeah, tick it off, it's got to be done, otherwise the conveyor won't come through. So the crane turns up, John turns up. The first thing the boilermaker does is cut all the hot and young bolts off the concrete. John and his riggers get some slings and some straps and some chain blocks and some wires, and I don't know what they did, and they just picked the whole thing up. And they picked it up and they walked it off and they dropped it where they wanted. By lunchtime we were all home and he made $6,000 in 1980.
Well done. Who's next, guys? Who's got a short story?
Was that too long?
No.
You started to set her up. Dorothy has a Wizard of Oz.
Kristen L.
It's a bit dangerous. Carlton Wheatbix, we got this tender from CBH to build the conveyor and all that stuff. We had took one look at it and Sam says, I want to build the bins in steel. So we redesigned it and put the bins in steel. Came out about the same in price as concrete. But the beauty was we halved the foundations. So we aced the tender. But what we didn't realise was the basic foundations, the piling for it, had already been let by CBH. So the piling contractor, when he got wind that we didn't let all these piles, he got really busy, worked overtime, drove piles till midnight. That was the best part of it, just seeing the cheating that was going on with the piling contractor. But it was a good job.
A good story. What about Dino's body? Dino's body, when I used to work in the office with him, I reckon that guy had a tapeworm. He's the only guy that would eat 3 hamburgers and 4 donuts before breakfast. And 7 pies, yeah. Dino, what's the story?
I don't think I've got anything funny to say, but congratulations to the United Partners, John, Sam, and Charlie, and what you've done for yourselves, for the industry itself, and for all the ensuing companies that came out of United, like my office, for example, is absolutely exemplary. When I first started at United in 1984, the company was the most innovative thing I've ever seen. The aesthetics, what you did from an innovation perspective, the technology that you applied in those days, the kind of people that you employed, training, the culture, it was just so far above anything else. It was an absolute pleasure to work with you guys. So, and thank you for the opportunity you gave me. It's certainly changed my life. It's been a big influence. I'm absolutely sure that it's been a big influence in everyone here. So thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Dino. Is there anyone else that would like to say anything? Jim Bain, what about you? When we had a new managing director and he wanted a white Jaguar, and sorry, and he had a lovely white Jaguar, and it was a little dusty from time to time with Neville Oakes and whatever he was doing in the workshop. And the managing director asked Jim to get his car cleaned. So Jim put one of the apprentices on it, and the apprentice cleaned the leather seats so well that when Mark Fitzpatrick turned up the next day, he said, "Who's the bastard who did this? My kids just slipped through their seatbelts." Is there anyone else that would like to say anything? Okay, well, in conclusion, let me echo what Dino said. Thanks to the 4 partners, founders. I was going to say, thanks to the 4 founders, not only for what they've done and making the opportunities available to us all, Dino, very well said, but more particularly, thank you for organising this and getting us all back together again with all the memories we have. So John.